what's even more funny was they would get offended. You want me to pay to do this? And in our mind, like, this is an investment show. You're not investing to be on the show. You're investing in the businesses that are coming.
So you're trying to be on Shark Tank, and you want to be the shark, and I got on shark money. You're the minnow.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for coming out here to the Richard M. Shelton podcast. I'm here with Deena Abdul.
Yeah, Abdul.
Abdul.
Yes.
All right. So we're with Deena Abdul, and so we're going to talk about some real estate. We're going to talk about some family planning. And especially with the spouses, sounds like that's going to be something we want to bring in. How do we protect? Or how do they protect and the assets and the futures, and make sure they have stability beyond whatever's in the moment right now. That sounds pretty important to you. Yeah,
absolutely.
We were talking a little bit backstage, and then what you were bringing up, about the wives, making sure that they have. Tell me a little bit about that from your perspective.
Well, so investments and financial literacy discussions were always so very important for me, only because I saw we were always given so many different opportunities, having been in the NBA lifestyle. For a long time, I was married to an NBA athlete, a professional athlete, and of course, when they first get in the league, and they're young, right?
Sure.
And they're bombarded with so many different scenarios. Investment in this business. Why don't you think about starting a not-for-profit? And they're young. They're not ready. And a lot of the athletes might not even come from a strong background, either familial or curriculum-wise, school-wise, or environment, and depending on wherever they grew up. So when we first got into the league, there were so many good ideas coming our way, right?
Sure.
And you really couldn't decide or trust. So what do? We get a financial advisor, right? And they pretty much handle a lot of things for you. And if you're not familiar or not willing to learn how the process really goes, it can really hurt you, because you can't really depend on one person taking care of your accounts. You should really have a team. Based on personal experiences, it was always difficult. And then a lot of, athletes, or, when people become at a certain level, celebrities or whatnot, they tend to lean towards familiar pieces, because it's a trust issue, right? So what are they going to do? They might hire family, which is not always bad, but you got to be very particular of who you bring on the team.
Yes. Yeah. You want to support the family, but they're not always the best choice.
Yeah, and some people might not be as qualified. So with that being said, having first been in the league, watching him, you're going from college to like making millions of dollars, right? And people, of course, you get so excited about spending, and I'm going to get a car, and I'm going to go buy a house, and
sure.
And it is by far the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
I would say, one, making sure you do provide yourself a good, solid team, and understand the different departments of the team. What each person is supposed to be doing.
Correct.
And I see that with a lot of professional athletes. And then moving forward from there, just be very smart with every move you make in regards to investment. You don't have to don't spend your first $100,000 or $1 million. I actually encourage my son, now that he's training with basketball and planning to go into the league, I really have these discussions with him about making sure his first $1 million, $2 million is an investment that's going to be long-term for him, because you don't know what the outcome is.
Yeah. I mean, I would suggest that you invest enough money to where that money generates more income than whatever it is you're earning. So to find a way to build up to that level. So if you're making $100,000 a year or $1 million a year or $10 million a year. Find a way to replace that income so that if something happens now, accident, change in economics, political landscape change, whatever may happen, we don't know, that you have that stability to continue to thrive in that absence, of that
Absolutely.
income being there. And if the income lasts forever, awesome, you just got more money.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
nobody gets mad about more money, but they do get a little upset when they start losing it.
When they start losing
Yeah,
it.
and it's
Yeah.
real easy to buy stuff. Like, we have a lot of real estate, and my truck has 100,000 miles on it. And I'm like, well, you can buy this. You should go for what?
Yeah.
Like I don't need
Yeah.
it. I don't need it. It's I hear I got 130 of these, so they work better for me.
I think there was a moment
So,
in time where I was just like, why do we have 3 cars?
Yes.
Why do we have 3 cars? We need a family car and we need a small car. And then like,
That's it.
why are we buying furniture every time you sign to a new team? Like, go rent furniture for the next 9 months. And then you don't know if you're going to be here next season. It just has to make sense.
Oh,
Just
when you
think
move
forward. We bounced around a good amount, and I will never forget. One of the worst things I've ever done was I bought furniture in one of the cities that we lived, and it was like our first space,
Okay.
right, that I was really decorating. And we lasted a season. And I had to move. I either had a choice to sell the furniture or move the furniture, but I was so attached to the furniture and everything that came along with it that I moved all the furniture to Chicago and put it in storage. And guess what? It stayed in storage for like 8 years.
Oh wow.
I'm like, what a complete waste
Yeah.
of everything, of money, of space, of furniture. The furniture, of course, didn't last. But it's just, what I'm saying is little decisions really like hinder the long-term effects of things, especially when it like, so now I move with a very slow pace of, is this an investment? Yesterday, I sat down with my son is 15, turning on to 16, and he is an athlete. He's a student athlete. He's excellent at what he's so focused, so disciplined. And I sat down with him and I said, hey, you have 2 camps coming up this weekend. Is there one that you really, really want to do? And let's sit down and see how much of an investment it is for us to pay that $150, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because everything costs money. So what are we getting out of this camp? What are we getting out of this camp? And I create a strategy for him. Like, look at long term. Let's go see the amount of audience they have, the type of players they have, who's coming in to recruit. Like, it's not just like, I want to go do a camp. Be strategic about everything you do. I even shopping,
Yeah.
I take it as an investment. It's simple stuff, right?
Sure.
But going back to, the league,
Mm-hmm.
right? What was the most ideal investments to get into was, it always got back to me, was real estate.
Yeah.
It always sat with me. I had this love-hate relationship with real estate because we move so much.
Sure.
At the same time, it's like you own a property that
Yeah.
you can do something with. It costs to live in it, rent it out. Like, it was just, and this is starting at a very young age. I was like 25.
Sure.
And then I also saw, being that lifestyle, what are people spending on
Yeah.
bags and
Yeah.
shoes?
You got
and
to
all
keep
these
up appearances too.
right.
Yeah.
And I would watch, and there's nothing wrong with treating yourself, right?
Sure.
But I just always had this mindset of, am I going to spend $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 on a bag? I did not have the heart to do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. He had the money. I just couldn't do it. So what did I start doing was I started designing my own bags.
Awesome.
And I created it as a platform of investment opportunities for the wives. Hey, why don't you invest in this collection? We run a campaign on it, and you get your return, and you're also correlated with the storyline. And it was just, there was so many different ways to make something work for you. And it, in my mind, it was always the focus of investment. Let's invest correctly in it. And look, I've had my downfalls of like, that was a bad choice business wise. But I had to learn the ways of it all. So it is, I mean, if you think about it now, we always go back to real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was telling you earlier,
Yeah.
I'm actually a real estate agent in Michigan.
Okay.
Which is random, but here I work, behind the business of real estate. So we bring in a lot of leads for investors to look into different properties, and because a lot of people are busy. A lot of investors are, they have a profession, right?
Sure.
They might just be making a good amount of money, and they don't want to run the process.
Yes.
Right? So they need a team to be like, okay, I'm going to invest in this property, this property, this property, but I don't want to do the work. And that's exactly how the company's set up. So,
yeah. So you're getting it going. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your goals? What are you wanting to?
Well, I definitely, so I primarily work, so I started out in the fashion scene with my studies in medicine. So I actually studied medicine in school.
All right.
And something told me to pick up communications. And I did. So it was my second major in college. I graduated. I went into, I wanted to become a physical therapist because I wanted to work, I love the human body and I love sports. I wanted to be a physical therapist and I wanted to work with professional athletes. Moving forward, I found the direction, it was just not how I planned things. I got married and he played ball. I had children. We bounced around to different cities. So it was not in a space of finishing your studies, getting your clinic open, all that great stuff. And I found myself kind of going in a circle of like, well, I need something that's mine.
Sure.
So I launched my handbag collection.
Yeah.
Because again, I didn't have the heart to go spend thousands of dollars on the newest bag. And I'm like, well, I'm going to make my own bags.
I mean, for $10,000, you can get a lot of capital to start your business.
Exactly.
That's on one bag.
Exactly how I felt.
It was like it's $10,000. That's a lot of material, a lot of marketing. I mean, you can probably make 50 G's off that 10 grand.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I did.
It was like, okay.
That's exactly what I did. Yeah. I slowly invested along the way, but there was a lot of trial and error.
Sure.
I mean, now everything is so structured that, of course, you can't make the same mistake learning the business behind having a brand.
Sure.
I see a lot of designers now that come out and I'm launching a brand. I'm like, okay, that's amazing. How are you doing it? And the more you speak to the designer or the business or them everybody's trying to do it on their own.
Of course.
People not understanding the aspect of investing in a marketing team.
Yes.
They don't understand the importance of product placement. They don't understand. And it's so risky because fashion is a risky business. It's like media, like film, like walking up to somebody, hey, invest in my movie.
Yeah.
No one's going to do that.
Yeah.
So that transitioned into the business of film because I started doing, I started having to market my products, right? Because I didn't have the capital to hire a marketing team.
Yeah.
So I started doing it on my own, and over time I learned. And that kind of transitioned me into media production. So I went from like filming my products to like, I actually really like this. And it took me into like media production. So I began to actually invest in myself of just
it's the best place.
Yeah.
It's the best place. You get returns your whole life.
Exactly. And now I just, I'd be like, I know how to do this. There just hasn't been a space where I can apply it.
Yeah.
So now I'm very intentional with application. I learned this in this course, and I learned this when I did this on set. I learned this, now I get to apply it. So really taking it step by step and seeing where it can take you. And then even if you go back and visit, which I'm actually doing now, I'm going back to revisit my brand.
Sure.
Because I'm now at a different level of,
Expectations.
That,
yeah. I mean, and it's important. Like when I had ran dealerships, which is what I did prior to real estate. Like we all had previous jobs. So, sometimes I'd have to go and say, look, we need to act as a customer and go through the process so that you can see what does it look like when they get online. When I call on the phone, how is the phone answered? When the product is delivered, what does it look like? And let's pursue it, because as we grow in volume, things get missed and expectations increase.
Absolutely.
When you're selling a car on the at a grocery store or something, nobody really cares.
Exactly.
But you're going to go, and at that point, the last place I was at was a Mercedes Infiniti, Subaru, and 2 Nissan points. The expectations, at least in the Mercedes Infiniti side, those clientele wanted something specific.
Absolutely. They know what they want.
Yeah, they're expecting it to be. And so I think when you're moving forward, building this brand or whatnot, like I can do this in my room, in my like I have a studio I use for like Zoom and Skype meetings and things like that, but it's not going to give the same presentation.
It's not going to give the same presentation.
So paying them gives credibility beyond what I could do on my own. Can I do it? Sure, but is it going to look the same? Nope.
I'll be so honest with you.
Yeah.
That's funny you bring that up.
Are you normally not honest?
I'm normally not. But I'm going to be honest with you today.
From a salesperson, that's like the worst thing to say. It's like, why would you not be honest?
No.
But wait, all right, so be honest with me.
So I think, and Sohail can tell you about this too, but the last 6 weeks, I've had the honor of casting a game show that's focused on business investments.
Okay.
So my entire job with that was to research all of the potential investors that we can cast for the show.
Sure.
And then we present them all these different businesses, right? And of course we had to vet. It was so intense. Like I don't think they saw me for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I would go in my little corner downstairs and hide. And 9 to 5, my entire job was to research investors
and find out who's real and who's
all
showboat.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, they're like, what? Whoa,
oh my God.
You ain't got nothing.
2 things I learned.
People are full of shit.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Like,
what you see on social media.
Yes.
Okay. How someone's teaching you to do this and teaching you to do that. And this is how I made my first million. And it goes on and on, right?
Okay.
When we actually reached out to individuals, they did not have liquid assets to invest in anything.
Yeah, they ain't got no money.
And they didn't understand. This was very interesting because they labeled themselves as investors, not accredited investors, but investors. They did not understand the opportunities that were laid in front of them through this show. They didn't see the incentives. They didn't see long term.
Well, you know why? Because they got bills on the first, they ain't got no money.
Exactly. So what was interesting to me was how we were able to weed out
so many the fake ones.
Yeah.
You got the fakes and the snakes, and then a couple good ones.
Exactly. And then what's even more funny was they would get offended. You want me to pay to do this?
Yeah.
You understand? And in our mind, like, this is an investment show.
Yeah.
You're not investing to be on the show. You're investing in the businesses that are coming.
So you're trying to be on Shark Tank, and you want to be the shark, and you ain't got no shark money. You're the minnow.
Exactly. The other interesting find that I came across was I would get so lost in the research, and I'm just like, why does this person make so much money? I want to know how they started, and I want to know what they're doing now.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this. Investors invest in 2 major things, technology and real estate. Those are money makers 100%.
Yeah,
and medicine.
I've noticed a lot of the young entrepreneurs, the guys I'm seeing that are buying the Lambo they can afford, not the ones who rent it and pretend they got it.
Yeah.
Those are in the tech space. Those guys, they come in and they made some widget for something I don't even know exists, but some dude paid them $800 million for it. I'm
Yes.
like, what the hell? How do I teach me? I'm old and I
I
want to learn.
and this is why when we first had a conversation, I
Yeah.
was like, my whole plan and like within the next 3 years is to be an accredited investor. This is my entire plan. I love media.
month
I
is
love
it right now?
fashion. Huh?
It's okay. So why don't we set a target? Let's have you achieve that goal by. You said years. I think that's crazy. But
Okay, fine. I'll take your word.
all right,
6
so-
months.
that was close. I was going to say by March. Okay, because here's what happens if you, in my opinion, and you take it for what you want. But if I set a goal with a date, then
Absolutely.
I delay progress to that day. So if I say it's going to take me 3 years, then at 2 years and 9 months I get to work.
Yeah.
If I say I'm going to get it done
you're
tomorrow,
right.
well, fine, I guess I better get
You
it done
literally
tomorrow.
called me out on it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. I'm
'Cause
with
3
you.
3 years. Do you know how much stuff can change in 3 years?
Exactly.
How you were in 3 different houses in 3 years.
You're absolutely right.
And that furniture has been sitting there for 8 years. Okay,
Don't remind me.
And you pay, not only that, you paid somebody to hold it for you.
Yes.
Yes. So all like I just think I don't know what your net worth is currently, but the capability is obvious. So there's no reason why you should delay and stop you from living your best life now. If your goal is that, just do it now. Like, okay, what do
You're
I need to do?
right.
I got $5
You're
grand,
right.
10 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand. My company, not this one, but the one I started with flipping, I put $300 into an account. To be fair, I had a very stable job managing dealerships.
Mm-hmm.
I had credit and I had a skill set of sales over a period of time. So I had, usable things I could apply. But I put $300 in that account, never added another outside penny that wasn't debt based. Like, hey, will you loan me some money? Cool, great, we'll put it to work. But no money went back into that pot, and we've done millions of millions and many millions, and immediately, like first year, like,
Yeah.
like it was like, and it wasn't super hard or crazy. I just was like, well, I'm working over here for this amount of money. Well, now it's all my money, so I'm just gonna put it to work and make
absolutely.
it work. But 3 years. I mean, in 3 years we went from 2019 to a pandemic to the world shutting down, and then
How did you do during the pandemic?
well, I retired in automotive in 2019. In December, I wanted my last W-2 check to end on the 31st of the year, so that I would not have a W-2 in 2020. So that was how I set it up. Intentionally at that dealership, I said, listen, and it was early. It was September. I said, hey, I'm retiring. I'm leaving this business. I'm going to train up the next guy to replace me, and I'm out on December 15th. And they're like, no, you're not. Yep, I'm 100%. Like, I'm going to go do something different. And so they're like, okay. So, I did what I said I would do. And then, so the year rolls up, and then 2020 hits. But, of course, nothing bad happened yet. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to take my money. I'm going to start buying these things. We're going to start flipping these deals. I'm like, all right, cool. So, at first I was like, okay, I had a little bit of capital, but then it built up that I had done in the previous years with wholesaling and real estate just to build up some money. So I had a decent idea of the process. So started going into that. And then when 2020 hits, I'm in a deal in Vegas at a meetup with Grant Cardone's GrowthCon. And then when we come back, like it was February or something, and people were saying, wait, have you heard about this? Have you heard about that? And I'm like, listen, not my problem. I got work to do. Let's go out and go get it. Well, then March or April starts rolling around, and it starts getting like, I'm starting to get like feeds in my, weird chatter that I'm noticing in my timelines and whatnot about we're running out of food, we're running out of these things. I'm like, what's going on? Okay, so then I'm like, well, I don't know, but I'm fairly like skeptical. So I went and told my wife, hey, I want to run over to Sam's and I want to go buy a bunch of shit and we're going to put it in here. So I went and bought 2 freezers, started loading up stuff. She's like, are you crazy? I said, I don't know what's going on, but something's happening.
We
Right?
didn't.
I don't know what's going on, but something's weird going on. So I'm going to prep a little bit and we'll see what happens. And then boom, like, okay, the world starts shutting down and stuff starts going. And I was like,
within 2 days.
yeah, it was like, and I was like, man, I'm glad that it was just, I don't know why, maybe, good Lord or whatever, but it made me feel like I needed to respond to that chatter, and so I was like, okay, well, let me do that. But because of the way the world shut down, my industry became in the essential network, and I was like, oh, free money, baby.
Yeah.
Like I saw zero liability to
Yeah.
me and 100% opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, half y'all ain't working, so all I'm going to do is find ways to make money now. So I'm driving around. I got no traffic. I can get everywhere I want to so quick. It was
Yeah.
beautiful. And we're fixing this and fixing that, and people are still buying stuff.
Yeah.
And they're bored. They ain't got nothing else to do. So then they're like the socials
They're
start
online
picking up.
taking classes.
They're
and-
like
yeah.
picking up stuff, and I'm doing the same thing because I'm still newish to the space. Like this is I'm 25 or 23 years in automotive, and then got into this space in, like I said, 2019 really, and then I was like, okay, well, I need to learn too, so I'm just constantly downloading content
Yeah.
and learning and picking up. But the pandemic was actually very, very good. This year's probably, or this half of the year, has probably been the most restrictive we've had recently.
Yeah.
But pandemic was fantastic. We were just cranking and cranking and cranking.
I made a huge shift during the
Yeah.
pandemic. It was the best
It was the
thing
best. Yeah.
that could have ever happened to me.
Makes your brain work.
It slowed my constant.
Yeah.
I got to go do this. I got to do that. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
'cause
You
you
were
can't-
forced to sit your butt down.
I hated it so much. That part. Yeah.
I I just took classes.
Yeah.
After I recovered from COVID,
Yeah.
I was sick for a very long time.
Okay.
But what it allowed me to do was I started really engaging my network at that time.
Uh-huh.
And I will never forget there's a company in LA that I had met like 2 months before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a product with glutathione.
Okay.
And it was for like sports recovery athletes
Like
and
an
what
AD plus or something?
Huh?
Like an AD or?
No, it was a supplement. It was just a supplement.
The glutathione. Okay.
And I met with the founder of it
Okay.
in Los Angeles, and the goal was to become like a spokesperson for the company,
Like it.
just so we can kind of target the athletes, right?
Got it.
And 2 months later, when I was in the middle of, I wasn't even in the middle, I was towards the end. Like, I actually didn't think I was going to make it.
Oh, no.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Something made me call him, and I was just like, can this cellular regeneration supplement really help me in getting better faster?
Sure.
He overnighted me 2 bottles, and within 72 hours I was walking again.
You were good. I was like, you were like hurting.
I couldn't go to the back, and I was quarantined I was me and my children,
Yeah, that was horrible.
and I did not see them for like 45 days. So I would wake up at like 4 in the morning. I would put mask on, gloves on. I would go in the kitchen and disinfect everything.
Oh, my
Every
goodness.
single day. I would make them breakfast, and I would go hide in my little room, and I didn't see them. I didn't get to hug them. And it was scary because I didn't know if I was going to get, nobody knew what was happening.
No, and you're getting so much conflicting stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting doctors say, hey, you should do this, and another doctor saying you can't do this, and
Exactly.
then they're shutting people down that are giving information, and that you're just begging for facts.
And
know?
it's scary. I will never forget. I took ibuprofen one day for the pain,
Okay.
and then I get a text from my brother's a doctor.
Yeah,
He's like,
don't
don't take
take-
ibuprofen. I'm like, I literally just took like 8 pills of ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Am I going to die?
Because nobody really knew what it was, and for me, I had COVID as well, but it was not that bad. It was like 3 days of being really tired, and then I was like, all right, I got shit to do. But then my wife, who's more, I guess, polite to the world than I am, because I was like, I got stuff to go do. No,
Yeah.
you're gonna kill people.
Yeah.
They're gonna die anyway. I gotta go work.
No.
it's like I'm going out there like it's I can't. I'm not gonna change. I don't talk to people. I go to
I
real
went
building. I go to
walking.
empty buildings.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like I'm just gonna be out there. If the most contact I had was touching a gas pump.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
that was in maybe a drive-through. Give me the credit card or something. But but anyway, so she like had me like locked down in my room, and I was
know.
like. This is not my personality
Yeah.
at all. I'm out and about. I'm hustling. I like to talk to people, and I want to go. And that 7 days was like made me swear to myself I'm never doing anything illegal because I will not make it in prison.
Absolutely.
I will never make it. I'll be like I will just
I
die.
can't sit in one place.
Like I'm never gonna. I'll
But
behave. I swear.
I do. I appreciate that time. During that time, I actually got certified. I'm a COVID compliance officer to
Okay.
be on production sets. And I packed up my children
know
as
that's a thing.
soon as they opened those doors.
Yeah.
I packed up my kids and I moved to LA.
Yeah.
And it was the opposite of what everyone was doing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm literally going to milk the situation
Yeah.
and get all the experience that I need to do on set.
Yeah.
Network.
Compliance. Okay.
Yeah. Have you heard of the COVID?
No, not until you said.
So there's.
This is Texas. We didn't even believe COVID
I
existed.
know.
It was.
But California did.
It was like,
And they made a big deal of
yeah,
it.
they did. Like over here, we're like, nah, we good. We eat mud and play with cow
Right.
patties as
No,
kids.
we'll
all right.
survive.
We'll be all right.
But
It's,
it was actually very lucrative for me at that time when I went to LA.
yeah, it worked out well for me too, financially. It just for different reasons. But
I would say my biggest regret,
yeah.
I did not get into real estate.
Well, you
at
can get
that
into it right
time.
now.
I know, and I did. I just wish I would have done it where it was so slow paced and taken advantage. And then I eventually got licensed as a real estate agent, but
Well, that's a different side of the coin, though.
I know, which is not what I want to do.
On the agent side, you have a fiduciary responsibility to somebody
Right.
else's product.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of oversight in regulation because you're not a participant in the game. You're representing somebody
Exactly.
else. On the investor side, it ain't nothing. My fiduciary responsibility is to me.
Yep.
And so I want to be as close to a penny, and that's it. And then and that's just the way it goes. And then we try to build from there whatever we need to do. But so it's completely different sides of the spectrum. But I love both sides. I love the sales aspect because that's where I live most of my life. So I
Yeah.
enjoy selling stuff. And then on the buying side, there's a way more market. I don't really want the 2.5% of 3, maybe 6 if I get
Yeah,
lucky.
exactly.
Of,
I was
of
like, why
this
am I
property.
playing small fish when
Like,
I can actually?
When I can go do, one percentage wise big deal that we had done. I bought a property for 25 grand, sold it for 125 in I don't know, 8 days.
Oh, we're gonna go hang out with you.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we're gonna hang out with you now.
Yeah, but it was like, this is one transaction, but so I'm like, okay, well, I buy it for 25 grand, I flipped it for 125.
Yeah.
All the work I did to the whole thing in that 8 days was the deck was broken, so I put some plywood across the top, so maybe $100, maybe, and that was it. And then put it on Facebook. Hey man, I got this thing. Anybody interested? Yeah. How much you want? I don't know. What do you want? We do one. What do you tell me? 100. So now I'll do like 125. All right, cool. And I thought it was kind of bullshit,
Yeah.
right? And it was like,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, you're good. Damn it, I should have kept it. And then so we end up putting these things together. But you can just make real estate makes money. But had I listed that property, I would have made 6% of 25 grand, or 6% of or 3.
Oh, that's even if you get lucky
and get both
of-
sides. Yes.
Or people showing up or not pulling out the deal, or be like, no, this is,
See,
or
that-
there's a problem with I just can't. I couldn't. I wasn't in a space to live like that.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
If
And
we
I was
get-
just like, I can literally put floors down myself.
Yeah, and see on the real estate side, like on the business side, you still get to do all that part that the agent does because it's your property.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want, and then but you get the big win.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's you hope you get the big win.
Yeah. So now I'm just
So what do you want to do?
happy to, because all these years I really focused on making sure a lot of our NBA sisters or my friends or female business owners really focused on the financial literacy, because
Super important.
a lot of us, I'm going to say this in a very general way.
That's okay. You can we'll edit out whatever you don't want to be said.
So you could do whatever you want with what I'm saying, okay? But we became that statistic
Okay.
in the sports world when those athletes transition.
Yeah.
And all I can think about was all those investment opportunities that he did not want to take when he was playing.
I got it. So you became the statistic. What statistic is that?
What
does that mean?
85% of athletes that transition, maybe more now
Mm-hmm.
or less, do not transition well financially.
Okay. Because
They go from a comfortable lifestyle to a sudden change to not being prepared.
yeah.
That's all it is. And I always thought back, my culture is different. In my family in Egypt, when you get married, these terms are laid out in your marriage agreement. And in my mind, I was like, I'm not going to do that to him.
Y'all got a contract?
Oh, yes. It protects the wife, the children, their future, their assets. It protects everything.
Okay.
And
It's kind of cool.
it's now that I'm older, now I recognize the importance of it.
See, well, okay. Like on the male side in America, like that would be helpful for us too.
And it protects,
Yeah,
it also protects the man.
Yeah.
So
like it's
it was just interesting. I remember for every child my mother had, my father put a certain amount of money in a piece of land in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates.
Yeah, Dubai. I just was like just a couple of days looking at some properties out there. I'm like, can I buy one that I can like Airbnb or whatever the equivalent
absolutely
is?
you can.
And then and now I just got them to send me information about to get the like I can get a 10-year visa, but I have to spend 1 million dirham, which is 525,000 I think. And then it's and I'm like, okay. And then I said, well, I don't know I want to spend that much over there, but if I can do it and I get 10 years to go hang out, if stuff goes sideways here, I'm good.
Well, one, and we can talk about this after the podcast.
Yeah.
I can't give you all my secrets right here, but
You can't, all the secret. Well,
all I know is my dad had a piece of land for every one of us.
yes.
And when we moved to the States,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom went from being a doctor to a nurse, my father went being from a professor to literally like he was overqualified to work in science labs and all of that.
I hate that.
He got really sick actually.
Oh, no.
And my mom spent 24 years taking care of 6 kids and my father. Okay. And it was so hard. We went from but that was in my favor a little bit because I learned how to manage. And when I got married
Yeah.
and we went through that transition, I knew how to manage. I knew
Okay.
how to cope. I knew how to be prepared.
Yes.
So, but I always think back, we were struggling so much financially that my father started selling the lands in the United Arab Emirates just for us to survive, or someone getting married or whatever. He wanted to take up care
that
of
land's worth
us.
some money now. Yeah.
And every time I think about it, I'm like, oh, Lord,
Yeah,
they
like-
sold my piece.
They sold your piece. Well, all right, well, let's go invest in one together.
Let's go do
Yeah, it's
And that's what I said. I'm going to go get my
Like
own.
I find like 4 people who want the Airbnb, and we all just pick a month that we actually use it.
Absolutely.
You know, and then so we're all splitting it up, and then we got this place, and then going to the other extreme. Well, sometimes we'll have investors come on the other side. They want to go with the E85 or whatever and get their I don't know how much we're allowed to talk about, but like they want citizenship here. They want their kids to have citizenship here.
Mm-hmm.
So you get them to invest in your projects on this side of town. But
I would say
Yeah.
that's so funny. My
Yeah.
9-year-old walked up to me yesterday. He's like, Mom, there's a war that's about to break out from China, and they teamed up. And I'm like, sweetie, why are you watching the news?
Because they indoctrinate everybody with
On
it.
TikTok.
It's like this is because I don't know how old you are, but I'm 44, and when I was a kid, you had to want to watch the news. Now it's just downloaded.
It's in your face.
constantly, and it's all negative. Oh my god!
He
it's
was
horrible.
literally standing in
So-
front of me, teary-eyed.
Yeah.
And I was like, sweetie, let me tell you something. You have citizenship in Egypt. If we want to leave, we're going to leave anytime we
gotta
want,
go,
okay?
yeah.
And he's like, really? Can we go? And he was scared. And I'm like, sweetie, I need you to calm down. Don't watch everything on
Oh,
TikTok.
gosh, me nuts.
And just,
and I'm guilty because I watch it too.
I know we do it,
Yeah,
but I was just like, it is my job to take care of you, son. So don't freak out. But guess
Yeah.
what? That's one of the advantages our family has that benefits, like we have citizenship overseas. So if anything goes south,
yeah.
I'm out. And I continue to build these international relationships so we can get out.
Yeah, and I think those are things I hope they're tools that I never have to utilize for those reasons, but those tools need to be available.
They need to. You just need to be prepared.
I mean, in my mind, it's not. Do I need a bigger kitchen knife? Probably not. But when I do, I need to have the thing. I don't need to run to the store. I need to already be ready to use what I need to use. So, Dubai is one of the areas that we're looking to set.
Oh, Dubai's
that
great.
thing, and it's a beautiful place.
It's great.
And then our
Saudi
family's eclectic, so it's she'll blend in easier than me. And then so we thought about that for, well, where did we go? I said, well, I got Russia, Germany, England, where's this? Australia, where nobody's going to know. As long as I don't talk, nobody will know who I am.
They're not going to know where I'm from.
Yeah, I'll just walk through. I'll coast on in. But I go over there, they're probably going to know I'm not from here. It's like,
there's so much. There's so much opportunity out there.
It looks so pretty, and there's huge, like on the you were asking earlier about getting into real estate. There's another guy. He's I hope you're okay with me using your name. His name's Max Maxwell, and he's a wholesaler, investor, flipper guy, and great content. So follow him. Free shout out to you, buddy. It's but he's in Dubai. So I was listening to his podcast too. So he had he moved his whole family from America over there and said, no, this isn't working for us. We're gonna go there.
Absolutely.
And then and what he's doing is he bought a handful of not a huge amount of space from what I understand, and then he's renting us out, so he's now got long-term investments and doing the same game that he did here over there. It's no different.
One of the best opportunity that I came across that was a little bit more accessible to us was investing in hotel rooms overseas, and one of them
just
was
the rooms or like the whole thing.
So you actually purchase, you invest $10,000 in hotels that are building. And imagine just $30,000, you're getting 3 rooms. These are nice. Like 9-star hotels that are going to be
everything over there is like 9 stars.
So when you think about it, I was just like, wow, $10,000 is nothing.
Yeah, you
could spend $10,000 here in 2 months.
That I run into, somebody had made a comment about saying, oh man, well this is, I don't remember what the total was, like $6-7 grand. I'm like, listen, in real life that's like my sushi budget.
It's literally like $700 now.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that it was more, but I'm gonna blow it on something dumb, I promise. So let's put it to work.
Exactly.
And that, for me on the budgeting side, that's the goal. On the first of the month, I want to have no money. I want it to be in something that's going to pay me, because it's going to go to something dumb. I'm going to buy a Starbucks I don't need. I want to buy some other stuff. So let me go buy some real estate. Okay, I don't know if I can even say this. You can say everything. Look, I
can say whatever I want.
If you would have listened to the people before you, I promise.
Oh, I heard them.
Okay, so they're my buddies, but our PR scales are quite a bit different. Our HR scales are quite a bit different.
We can't say these things, but that's okay. That's the power of editing. But
say it.
I forgot what I was saying. Oh, Starbucks.
Yeah.
I had to stop.
Yeah? You had a little addiction?
The way, when I started thinking about, your cups are now $7, your coffees.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
For sugar water.
3 times a week. That's
$21.
And I'm sitting here tripping about Netflix. I'm like, I don't want to pay $20 a month. But in reality, I'm literally spending it a week on Starbucks, where I had to sit back and I'm like, this is too much money.
It's expensive, and it's not even that great.
It's not. There's something in it.
I'm getting average coffee with a whole lot of sugar and stuff in it.
Starbucks is an experience. I would say it's an experience. It's a vibe.
Well, I've experienced it already.
I'm done with it.
Yeah. The dating season's over. See you later.
That cappuccino machine downstairs is phenomenal.
Yeah, and that cappuccino machine you can buy for the money you spend at Starbucks and own the damn thing.
I think it was funny because I used to have these conversations with my significant other, and he was like, "Why are you always thinking about money?" And I'm just like, "It is literally if you just think about it, you can make there's so much in the world where you can be." What I learned to say about money is you join the transition, not where did I hear it from? You walk around and you say, I'm going to take someone's money, not I'm going to make money. Where did that come from? It wasn't the Grant Cardone class. I don't remember.
Grant Cardone is who's got my money.
He's got
who's got my money? I love. I don't know which classes you've been in with his, but every Wednesday we're in a deal that I'm in with him, and a bunch of other multifamily investors, and they like just listening to that energy. Like I thrive off
Absolutely.
that energy.
But you learn so much
Yeah.
just with the power of the words that you're saying.
Yeah.
Like taking
That's why they call it spelling.
someone's
man. It's
money
magic.
than making money those are two different
Yeah.
intentional phrases.
Yeah, they're completely different.
And you're not taking from someone, you're taking money that's moving in a wave, in circulation.
Yes.
So you shouldn't even feel bad about it.
You just made the infinity symbol. Did you notice that?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah,
I didn't mean to do that.
Yes, you did. You're here, minute. Here wasn't ready. Yeah, but
I told you my brain works faster.
Yeah. But it's an ebb and flow constantly. When you realize it's a tool, you're just supposed to ride the wave. You're not supposed to trap it.
Exactly.
We're not trying to dam it up. We're trying to just make it go.
And when you think about it, I remember so when he first got into the NBA league, what did they tell you to do? Save your money, save this much money, save this, and I'm just like, dude, invest over here, invest over here. And I was young, so of course he didn't trust the process for me, right? But I was always thinking, I was always reading, I was always wanting to learn, how did this person make this much money? And that came from my father's entrepreneurship characteristics.
Mm-hmm.
He was a very well-known professor of physics in Egypt at one of the top universities.
I want to be smart one day.
I was like, Dad, why do you there's no reason you should know these things.
I'm not that kind of smart.
And then imagine me failing chemistry.
Oh, it probably was. He was just looking at you
He was just like, you're not my daughter.
yelling at your mama.
I was like, chemistry is not making sense. I'm sorry. Like, I can't make sense of it. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but
But math does.
Yeah, it's just math with some numbers in it. It's letters.
Chemistry
in it.
was.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's more like memory. You have to memorize everything.
I think what I
couldn't-
love about math, when it is that it's consistent all the time.
Exactly.
So 1 + 1 = 2 until we get into the quantum world. So then, which isn't the math I use every day.
Exactly.
So if I know a formula, the formula stays consistent.
Yeah.
So if I know 70% of this or 30% of that or 20 or whatever the math is, and then you learn patterns. So I know
Exactly.
and I don't know how you do, but I know what a 5 and a 2, they equal 100. So I know 20 and 5. I have these things memorized, but then I can apply them in broad spectrum all the time.
Yeah.
But chemistry and sciences, while I think they're intriguing,
They
they're
change,
constantly
too.
flowing, and everything's an assumption. This is our theory. Well, okay, like in my lifetime, we went from having 9 planets, now we got 8 planets, now we got 10 planets.
We got a million galaxies.
Yeah.
Well, what we learned in school was not right.
I was like, all right. So I'm like, y'all just making stuff up all the time. I don't know. What are you going to tell me in 50 more years?
I swear. I just found, I don't know if you heard lately, this is so off topic, but I heard the heart muscle has the same sensory and chemical, not chemical, but neurons or nerves as the brain.
Yes.
So you can actually feel your heart
And
like your brain.
And your
can.
energy field comes from your heart, too.
Exactly.
So your electromagnetic energy. So we get into the parts.
I know. I read too much.
Which I'm perfectly good with. But it's like, but those are the parts that we just start talking about. Well, what's that got to do with real estate?
I know. It has nothing.
I'm like,
just go with your gut instinct.
Yeah.
Feel your heart when you're getting ready to make a purchase.
But in some ways I do. Like the math has to math.
It does.
Okay, so the math, but I walk into it and my soul says, then it's just a no.
Yeah.
And then if it's borderline and my soul feels good about it, I'll push. If the math don't math, I'm out. But if it's just because it is a money game. But if it's right on the edge I'm like, no, I don't feel good about this, and I just run away.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
So for someone that's getting into the real estate,
Absolutely.
just new to it,
Perfect.
they want
That was me like 5 years ago, so it's new in my head.
What is your first recommendation for them?
It depends. Do they have money and credit? If they do, then I would go one way. If they don't, which is fine, then I would go into wholesaling. If you don't have a lot of cash and you don't have a lot of credit, wholesaling is going to be the easiest way. Which basically means we're finding a discounted property from a distressed situation. Might be They might be behind on taxes, might be going to foreclosure. They might have an inheritance that they can't manage. The thing may have burned down and they just don't want to fix it, or any number of reasons. So you're going to find a property that has a set value. We want to get at a discounted value, and then we're going to sell that contract for a fee from a penny up to $1 trillion, whatever I can get. And then now the person that buys that contract from me pays it off. The original person I contracted with gets their money. I pick up the fee in the middle, and now I have a little bit of capital. So if you don't have credit and money, then I would start there. Okay. And if you have a little bit of money and a little bit of credit, then I would probably partner with somebody who's in the game and just say, listen, I'll work with you. Let's let's do some stuff together. I got a little credit, I got a little cash, but I don't have enough to do it on my own. But I want to learn, and I'll put in the extra.
Yep.
I'll put in the extra work to know what you know. And I would keep those relationships up 1 or 2 transactions, so that and tell them that, say, listen, I'm going to do 1 or 2 deals with you, so that when you exit to go to the next guy who's going to teach you, you can get to scale, and they're not just an anchor holding you.
Yeah. So that's how I started.
Yeah.
I was offered, okay, well, if you're willing to learn, this is what we're going to teach you, but we're going to have to partner with you first. Then we're going to walk you through the process, and then when we feel like you can go ahead, then we're going to invest our money in you to learn, but you also have to invest your money and be willing to learn. So it was not like,
I mean, and those partnerships usually work out pretty good. I would only be cautious that you don't make a long-term commitment
I have commitment issues
on something
so
that's
okay.
Do you?
You can't hold me down for a long time.
Okay, we're just going to partner up for this deal, man. It's like except for that Dubai thing. That's a 10-year commitment. Yeah, that's how long my visa lasts.
I don't know. I could marry Dubai for a good 20 years.
20 years.
I'm comfortable with
I just
Dubai.
want to go hang out there, man. Like it's
it's intense. It's like Miami times New York.
See, that's how. Well, I don't know about Miami. I didn't think Miami, but I was thinking like it's just like the new New York, the new New York. It is. Like
maybe because I'm from the Middle East, so I kind of see it a little.
I only see it the way it's sold to me via stuff, because I've never put any foot on that side
I've been
of the
to Abu Dhabi, and I've been to the other parts of the United Arab Emirates, so it's like, to me, Dubai is like a corporate city. Like it is New York of the U.S. But I don't know, maybe it's the culture that, I don't know. I see it a little different. And you have to come to Egypt.
Yeah. Where should I go in Egypt?
No, I host tours to Egypt with our partner travel agency, Bucket List Egypt. Can I throw that in there?
Yeah. We got to say it louder, though, so people can hear you.
So I host travel trips to Egypt.
I love the pause.
Okay. Yeah. And with our partner travel company, Bucket List Egypt, and we curate your entire experience, whether it's business ventures or anything in regards to leisure or family or, your non-for-profit, like anything you want to do, we can actually set it up through the government or just a leisure experience.
And it's called Bucket what?
Bucket List Egypt.
Bucket List Egypt.
Yep. So it should be on your bucket list. I don't want it to be on your bucket list for a long time.
Yeah.
So just call me.
Okay. So we're going to go to Egypt. Where's the best place to go in Egypt?
God, Egypt.
I mean, everybody's going to say Cairo because you got pyramids and stuff. There's got to be way cooler places.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
There's so many hidden gems in Egypt.
Those are the ones I like the best in America anyway. So I'm assuming the same there.
It's so much. Like Aswan is a must visit.
What is it?
Aswan, Egypt is a must visit. Luxor is a must visit because that's where the Valley of the Kings is. So that's Luxor. And then there's Siwa, which is where all the salt lakes are. Okay. And it's like an 8-hour drive from the city of Cairo. And it is like in the middle of nowhere. But you get there and there's these lakes of salt. There's no fish or anything in the lakes. No. And you literally get in. It's a healing. You're
going to float.
You literally float. You float.
There goes the science.
It's so beautiful. I can't wait to go. I'm going actually very soon.
Okay.
So there's that, and of course Cairo has the pyramids of Giza, and the Step Pyramid that's also in Cairo. And then there's the Egyptian Museum that's based in Cairo, and now it's going to be the second largest in the world of fine antiquities, of course. So that's a very big deal.
That's super cool.
And then there's all the water destinations, which is Ghardaa and Sharm el-Sheikh. Sharm el-Sheikh is like Miami. So I don't know if that's the vibe people go for, but I like to go where it's serene and it's just luxurious and it's just calm. And then you have Al Guna, which is like mini islands around Egypt. It's just so beautiful. People think desert and camels, and it's not. So
Well, you don't build a civilization that big if it's just sand. They got to eat, man. There's got to be stuff there.
I'm just very happy that that's my home.
TV makes a perception that's not realistic. It's for every place. Like every place I've ever gone, the governments might be crazy, but the people are pretty universally the same. Like they laugh, they cry, they love, they're nice, they're mean, whatever. They just living their life, doing whatever it is they do.
Absolutely.
Like it does, they just do it with a different speech.
Yeah. So just as a disclaimer, Egyptians are the funniest people on the face of the earth.
Are they? Yes. Okay. That's why you're laughing all the time.
Our sense of humor is just like it's just so random, but it really lightens the heart of the person in front of you.
Well,
but it is
that makes that muscle feel good.
It does. It really does. And then Egypt is known to be the Hollywood of the Middle East. So that's where all the film and like where all of the other countries really hone down. So when I lived in Morocco, that's a great investment space as well. Okay. Oh my gosh, I had friends from Spain that like purchased so many properties in Morocco. Oh my gosh, especially around the water. Yeah. So you should look into that. I got you.
Water's good everywhere.
I know.
Like it doesn't really matter. It's pretty universally known that unless it's toxic.
Right. No, it's so pretty.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that they'll probably have condos at that one in Japan, that Fukushima or whatever it was that meltdown they had a handful of years ago. I'm pretty sure they'll be selling stuff over there at some point.
Japan, I heard, was pretty too.
Never been, but it looks pretty.
I have a friend who he went to Japan to visit and he never came back. He got married.
My son wants to go there and live, and I'm like, why? You've never even been. He's like, oh, it's awesome. How do you know? It's like
it's not. I heard it was very nice.
Yeah,
and they don't feed you a lot of the toxins that we eat here.
Well, that's America thing. Our food's science based, not health based.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so then you got fillers, and and I'm just looking at a bag.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, you go grab a bag of chips that you can sell here, and then go look in the UK.
It's not the same.
And completely different. Well, not completely different ingredients, but significantly less ingredients, and the ingredients over in the UK you can pronounce.
Yeah. I don't eat meat here. I eat meat overseas.
Yeah. So you're like all vegan here, or just vegetarian?
I'm pescatarian here. Even I'm very weary about where the seafood comes from.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got a lot of mercury. You got a lot of,
it's scary. But I really minimize it because, like, when I come, like, say I go home for a while and I come back, the first 3 weeks, I'm sick. Like, my hair's falling out. My skin is, like, just destroyed. Like, it's like I have to take like a month off before I go do anything. It's a huge
when you come back.
Yeah.
See, the
food here is pretty intense.
That's depressing, but yeah, and it is. I have noticed that our food is pretty toxic. I don't know if we're allowed to say that. I feel like the food police and American food police are going to come.
They're gonna come knock on your door right now.
You have anything to substantiate that claim? Yeah, they're all fat and we're dying. Okay, like y'all, like.
But invest in real estate.
But yeah, that's what it is. I don't think that's pretty universally known. You go here, everybody looks like this and lives to this age. We come here, not so much.
No, it's true.
I feel like you just want to keep us long enough to keep paying taxes. And as soon as that threshold ends, see you later.
I would say I've had a lot of great opportunities in the States. And I've learned a lot of education. I mean, let's not talk about education. I have a different... After I homeschooled my kids, I was just like, well, this is not how we do math. Let me show you how we do math.
Yes. You're not a fan of the Common Core thing.
No,
because nobody in the world. I don't think that exists anywhere.
I'm actually considering. I had this conversation. I asked my oldest if he would be interested in moving to Dubai. Because in my mind, I'm like, I'm here for education, opportunities, and medicine, medical, advantages. But the more you get into it, I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe basketball would be very good for you in Dubai.
Yeah.
So let's go.
We go over there.
But what I'm saying is, there is a lot of opportunity here. It's really just about education and learning the ways of the world and not just following everything. So it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so if anyone wants to get into the discussion of real estate, you got to be willing to learn.
Gotta be learning all the time.
I learn every day.
Me too.
I'm nowhere near where I need to be, but I'm just like,
Yeah, I go to event. I'm going to an event tonight to go learn, and a lot of the stuff maybe I do know a good percentage of it, but I'm looking for that one extra sentence, just one little piece.
It's like a code that we're trying to look for.
I'm just trying to there's one little piece. Oh, okay, great. Oh, that's how that works. Fantastic. Let me put now I can apply that, and these things pay exponentially. Like
absolutely. And then there's things that change. Of course, we're going with the laws of just like we had that that mini documentary on the ban of Airbnb that our team did here. Things change. Like I was literally on the verge of acquiring a couple Airbnbs, and I got a text saying that it's banned, and I was just like, wow. I had all these plans that I've been conducting for 6 months, and all of a sudden there's a huge change. So
well, luckily you found that out before you committed.
Right. That is a good point. I see. I didn't even think about it like that. But
like you're stressed about the work you put into it, not stressed about the 4 payments you can't make.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you got the 3 properties and now your house. Because all that's
right.
It all goes to risk. And so you got probably the best case scenario. Like
no, you're right.
You know now.
You're right.
If you would have had them, because you were probably, and I'm just going to assume because it's the way it seems to be, and tell me if I'm wrong, but you were buying them under the mathematics that you expected the Airbnb to perform, not what the rental would have performed on a 12-month rental.
Nope. No. Well, that's only because I'm in the entertainment and travel space.
Yeah.
So it made sense for what I was trying to do with the Airbnbs and the corporate housing, especially for the athletes. And
well, you can still do a mid.
Now I can.
Yeah.
And I mean, but what I was saying was there's always changes. So you got to always have your eyes and ears open and make sure you're not going to learn everything in the beginning and then that's it.
No, you need to constantly.
I mean, that goes with everything.
That's all the time. Yeah. Like
I'm learning my kids every day.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah, I mean you have to be learning, or I think your brain just dies off. But you get antiquated so fast, and technology and things advance so quickly, and rules and regulations change so often. You got to stay engaged in the game, whatever your game is.
Absolutely.
It's learning is super imperative. On the real estate side, I mean, there's options everywhere. We're able to buy locally. We're able to buy internationally. We're able to.
That's awesome.
Be able to do things that. People in different countries that want to get citizenship here, you're able to help orchestrate systems, for them to find citizenship in the States and bypass some of the other challenges that come with not having capital. So it's money seems to be the forgiver of all things. But
I actually read a book about having a good relationship with your money.
Yeah, you need to be nice to it.
And being nice to it.
So it'll be nice to you.
Yeah. I'm gonna take that and run. So I'm gonna be nice to it.
Yeah, just be nice to it. Just be thankful and grateful to it. It treats you like you treat it.
Absolutely.
If you're telling it it's not enough all the time, like if your partner in your personal life was telling you all the time you're not enough and they want more from you, like you're gonna feel not good, right?
Yeah. No, my mom gave me one phrase.
Yeah.
And I guess we can close out on that. She said,
"Is it time to go? You got to wrap." Okay.
She said to me, "Don't stress so much." Just because I went through a major transition, and I have the responsibility of little people to take care of, and it's not a choice, right? Mm-hmm. Don't stress so much. Money comes and goes. Mm-hmm. It's just really maneuvering the situation. So when that actually clicked with me. Yes, I'm constantly working and hustling and making sure things are making sense. And, trust me, that's what it is consistently. But at the end of the day, there are always opportunities that will bring you what you need. You just have to be able to look at them.
And you got to be able to accept them too.
Receive them.
Like some people that you try to give them the answer, and they're not in a place to.
Yeah.
If you solve that problem for you, you ruin their whole purpose of
Yeah.
bitching. Like it's like it's just you gotta be ready. And I don't know all your beliefs, but in mine, I feel like the heavens make things happen if you
Absolutely.
just be open to receiving them in whatever way that makes sense for you. But anyway, we got to wrap this up. So
This is great. Thank you.
Well, you want to come again on next? Why don't you come?
Whenever you want me
Why
to
don't you
be,
come
I'll be
here?
here.
Why don't you come here in November?
Okay.
Okay, and
What's
then
in November?
I do the first Tuesday every month.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I'll be filming them up. So in November, let's come up here and let's do let's stay in contact in the interim. But then let's see how close to that $1 million qualification we can get you within that 30-day window.
I'm with you.
You know what I mean?
I mean, if I don't beat you to it.
What's that?
If I don't, I was just kidding. I was saying if I don't beat you to that $1 million, if I get it, then we aim for like $3 million.
Yeah,
$4 million.
well, whatever it is. I mean, whatever it is. So, well, I mean, you had said you wanted to hit, the ability to be an accredited investor.
Yes.
So
within it, yeah, and I don't know why I said 3 years. It should definitely be a good 6 to 8
So
months.
my point is that we'll do a 30-day update and say, hey, let's, this is where we started. We made this commitment. We're going to hit this goal, or you're going to hit this goal, and then let's do it.
Let's do
and
it.
then by then time we'll say, okay, I'm at 300,000, 300 million, whatever. I don't know. You won the damn lottery.
I love that. That sounds so good.
And then we have accountability. All right. So let's leave up with one thing. If you've got anything what's one piece of advice you'd give to just anybody out there? Something that resonates with you that you think would resonate with everybody else?
Just like I was saying, just place your mindset in a space where you're able to receive opportunity, because there's opportunities every day. You might just not even see them. So just be in a good mental space of, this is an opportunity. Let me go reevaluate. Let me go sit down with myself. And the universe is constantly working in really good ways. So
it is.
You got to look at it like that.
I'm with you. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
for
you.
coming.
We're shaking hands.
Yeah,
Okay.
we are. It looks good on the camera. All right. So then, so we'll get that going. So, hey, if they want to find you, what's the best place to find you?
I have a production company, amunastudios.com. We're over here at Harper Belmont Studios. You can find me on social media, Deena Abdul, on Instagram, LinkedIn, Deena Abdul Gaber. I'm all over the place.
You're all over the place?
It won't be hard to
for
find
my
me.
socials, I got lazy. I made a website. That's just my name, Richard M. Shelton, and all of my socials are there. So find them when you like. Click it. Will resonate there.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Y'all have a blessed day. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for watching our podcast, Richard M. Shelton, No Excuse Real Estate. Please like, comment, and share. I want to see and want to connect with you more. If you like what you see, we're going to continue to bring quality content and quality guests. Don't forget to check out my TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I look forward to seeing you there.